I hope this is going to be a really depressing episode or something.
I have a feeling it might be because I have a question to ask you, but
Okay,
I don't. It's gonna be I mean, uh, first of all,
I'm
welcome,
scared.
welcome
Welcome
to
back.
episode 44,
44?
I
I thought it was
think.
43. I
That's
swear we
40
had.
something.
Oh, wait, no, maybe I've lost complete track of the pod. I remember us addressing when we were in episode 42 because I was like, oh, meaning of life. And you were like,
Yeah, I think no. 42 was
seven
the one
times
that was
seven.
released last because I had to do the clip for it. Then there
Oh, that
was
might be why I was thinking.
I'm
Yeah.
editing 43, so this is 44, so welcome to 44.
Welcome to 44.
I looked so proud of myself then, I had no reason to look that proud of myself. Okay, so I'm going in strong here. Basically,
Uh-oh.
let me present to you the way I've been thinking at the moment. Which I don't want it to be fully depressing, but like, okay, so I've been talking to a couple of people lately about like, thank you. They're all friends, but that's okay.
Oh. Disappointing. Poor effort.
But if anyone does, hit me up. Still
Oi,
single,
oi.
still single. So if anyone is out there and wants to take on a
Bang.
depressing, anxious, if anyone's DTF, if anyone wants to take on a depressing, boring guy who's got anxiety and doesn't do a lot, then I'm your guy.
Oi, oi.
That's the least
I
reassuring
was
thing
I
you've
was
ever
probably
done for
meant
me.
to say like,
Yeah.
oh no, you're not
No, you could have done
depressing.
anything.
You're
You
not.
could have said literally anything, and what you did is you just left me hanging there with
Sorry.
my like smile as I was like,
You did just say down to fuck, so I feel like I'm allowed to be salty with you.
"Well, you said bang."
I know, that's just funny though. Down
That's
to
not.
fuck. I'm joking, I'm joking, I'm joking.
What's wrong with you? Ay, ay, ay. Right. Anyway,
Sorry, what was your point?
okay. Well, it could go on for a while. I mean, buckle in. So the last 13 years. I don't know why I picked 13 years, but well, no, I do know why. 12 years. 12 years. I'm sorry.
That's how long we've known
Um,
each other, right?
I guess it is actually. I didn't think about that. Basically,
Oh,
so like when we went, when I went from primary school to secondary school, like I was just thinking about like how things kind of were, and things
right.
kind of seemed quite good in life, right? Like the world seemed like it was okay. It was doing all right.
Eh.
Everything was kind of okay. Like it was the beginning of things getting shit, but like I wasn't really aware of it.
Yeah, oh,
Like
okay, I get that, yeah.
at primary school, like so, like the example I keep using is that at primary school, I was getting lessons for cello for like £25 a term because the school were like subsidizing the shit out of it, and like
£25 a term? I think
yeah,
I paid £25 a lesson.
I was having a great time at primary school. I tell you that much. Great, they were subsidizing the hell out of it. Like we're doing all these things, we've been on these trips and things. It was
Wow.
great, really fun. And I feel like in the last 12 years, every year, and I know this sounds like the most depressing sentence, but like I'm getting to it. It feels like things have got worse every year for the last 12 years. Like everything seems like, but like, especially this year, like it's so exhausting to think, like, what's gone on. Okay, so we've had global pandemic, we've got a war in Ukraine, we've got the US Supreme
True.
Court banning abortions and doing all of their stuff. Like,
Yeah.
they've done in the last few weeks, I've heard more about the Supreme Court than I probably ever have in my life because of the abortion thing. There was the gun control thing. There's currently the thing where they've restricted the ability of the government to like reduce coal usage. So they'll instead of cutting back on coal like they were planning to, now they might be burning more coal for longer, which is worse for the planet. Like
Sure.
climate change is fucks. Brexit happened. Um, all of these things, like it just keeps going on and on. Like at one point, like uni fees were like much less than they are now. So like
Or
now, obviously,
free.
we've all got a shit ton of debt. We've got no
Yeah.
money. Inflation's super high. Everything is just seems, and it's really hard, I find, to even stay remotely optimistic about things. And I think I'm
Okay.
saying that as someone who's pessimistic, but like
Yeah.
it's got to the point where if I hear the BBC News sound on my
Oh
phone,
my god, the
I
anxiety. I
literally
just
sit here
ignore it.
and I'm like, I don't know if I want to check it today because I know that what I'm gonna see is not gonna be good.
Yeah.
It's something bad is gonna have happened, and like I just don't like. So my point is, like, what if you had to give advice to me, to your friend, hello, to me, for a world which every year seems to get worse and like it's increasingly hard to like, because sometimes like I feel like everything you just you're just sad because you're so powerless about it, right? I
Yeah.
can't stop a global war. I can't stop a global pandemic. I can't, and I can't do anything about all of these things because I'm just one person. Like, if you had to give me advice on ways to like try and get past this, what would you say?
Oh my god. That's a
Especially the
big.
stuff with America recently. All the stuff coming out of America recently has been like a, and like I'm quite. I realize my privilege. I realize that, I don't live in the US and, like personally, I don't have to go through an abortion at any stage, like
Yeah.
physically.
Yeah.
Um, and I realize that people will have different views listening to this, and I'm not trying to start a whole thing, but like for me, it's really sad that like that's just a massive step back. Like, yeah, how do you possibly stay positive
I think you
when
try and
all this stuff's
focus
going on?
on the small amount of change that you can make. I think like educating yourself and trying to do better is all we can do at the end of the day. And yeah, and we just have to kind of accept that's a part of living, that there's a lot of shit.
There
I think
definitely is.
about
It just
animals and like how um animals out in the wild, like all the shit that they have to overcome to just survive. And I think we're kind of like that, it's
yeah,
different types of shit, but they do it, so we can do it if we want to.
yeah, that's true. I just find like sometimes I really wish I was like a complete fucking idiot. Like more so than I already am, but like I
So
really
you
wish I
don't
didn't
have
know
to.
anything. Because I think
Yeah.
if I didn't know anything, I'd be loving life.
Well, it's the idea of the immortal oyster or Haydn. I think that was what we had taught in philosophy.
Whoa, tell me more. What?
It's like, would you rather be a genius, or would you rather be that would you rather be a genius that lives, for a few decades, or would you rather be an immortal oyster, as in like you have no brain capacity, but you live forever?
Oh God.
They both sound kind of shit.
Yeah, I hate both of those.
So we're kind of somewhere in between, and that's better than the extremes, I guess. So
Yeah, I don't know. I think for someone who already thinks quite negatively about a lot of things and like generally has a negative mindset, sometimes you just hear about all this stuff and it's like, oh man, I don't even know.
yeah, it's a lot.
It's just sad. It just like I'm not at the point where I even would have. I'm not. Obviously I'm not gonna have kids anytime soon because
Yeah.
ladies hit me up. But like even if I was, I'd be like, do I want that?
Well,
Do I
yeah,
want?
I saw a woman post a video saying, people always say to me, "Oh, you'll change your mind about not wanting kids or whatever," and she's like, why would I want to have kids in this world? And then listed pretty much all the things you just talked about. It's
Hmm.
like, why would I want to bring a kid into that?
I would love to have kids one day, but all I can think about sometimes is like, God, imagine bringing a kid into this shithole. You know,
Mm.
like you're born, you're like, okay, so by the way, you're gonna read about the good times in the history books. They're gone now. We had a little bit of that for a couple of years in the middle, and then we fucked it, and now we're having to deal with the mistakes of people in the past who didn't care about the future. Sorry about that. Buckle in. It's gonna be a shit show from here on in, and just just get on with it. Like, I don't know. It's just I find it really hard to stay positive sometimes when all the shit is going on. And I wish I could turn off, but then I feel like it feels like a very privileged thing to be able to just ignore it
Yeah.
because lots of people can't fucking ignore it.
Oh yeah, that's like with you're saying about the BBC noise, like whenever I
Mm,
get a notification on my phone, it's like, oh, what does it say? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm not looking.
mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, oh, there's something wrong about ignoring it.
It's a luxury to be able to ignore it, and like in the end, I always have to look because in the end,
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't not know, but like, I can't just be out here. But then it's
Then you
so
can't take the
clearly
weight of
wrong.
the world on your shoulders. I think
Exactly,
you can only focus on what you can realistically achieve. And
exactly.
like for me, I know that's just sort of educating myself as much as possible because like the thing is I've read up on hard topics and then found it's actually put me in a really like pessimistic bad way and like
Mm,
just it's affected my mental health, so I've had to like give it a break. And then I felt bad because I'm like, oh, I'm a terrible human, I'm not educating myself on these things. And then it's like, no, when I'm ready to come back to it, I will, because I do care about it. It's just sometimes you've got to be a bit selfish, and that helps you get to the point where you can think about other people and educate yourself on issues that don't necessarily affect you.
yeah, yeah, I get you. It makes sense. I think one of my friends called it. She had the best word for it. She called it world pain. It's like the feeling of caring so much about everything that like it's like you just feel this sadness,
Yeah,
not because anything is directly necessarily happening to you, but because the empathy that you might have with some like other people in like worse situations. Like yeah, like you say, you take
yeah,
the whole weight of the world on your shoulders, but like yeah, it's not a good thing to do. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like at the moment it feels increasingly hard to have any like optimism about things. I have
I
to
get
imagine there
that.
are good things happening out there. There has to be something out. There has to be things out there that are good right now. There has to be something out there which is happening, which is a great like thing. I'm just not hearing about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean there was did you hear about the shooting in Norway?
The shooting in Norway during Pride Month, yeah,
Yeah, so
and they nearly had to.
two
They
of
nearly cancelled the whole Pride parade, didn't they?
yeah, so two of mine and Pierce's friends, one of them's actually going to be a bridesmaid for us. We're there because they live in
Oh,
Oslo, and I was at Togfest working, and I just get this like notification, when it says such and such, like so and so is safe, and
mm,
I just saw the post saying like I'm disgusted with like what's happened. We are safe, like,
mm,
and I just remember seeing that, and it was just like, oh, it's so like unbelievable. You know,
mm-hmm.
one step forward, three steps back. It's just yeah. And
Yeah.
another thing that like wave that sort of hit me was yesterday, a couple of days ago. So oh dear pooping. So I do a bit of tutoring, as you know. Um and one of my students lives in a very poor area, Um, and going there, I was thinking, I don't want to leave my car here. Like, I don't like. There was broken glass. There was a burnt down car. There was burnt down garages and cars with like missing bonnets and like
Mm.
wing mirrors ripped off. Um, and I was thinking, oh, do I give this like do I cancel on this job because I don't want to leave my car here and I don't necessarily feel safe like walking to the house? And then I thought, well, if I give up on this kid who's absolutely lovely because of where they live, they're missing out on education due to where they live, which isn't right.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, well, I've obviously got to think about myself as well. And then it's trying to work out, like, I'm happy to do it, but it was definitely like a thought of, oh, yeah, I don't want to leave my car here and I don't really feel that safe walking to and from the car. Like, which is just such a. I think until I thought about the bigger picture of what that meant, like, oh, yeah, that kid is going to have their education affected by their living situation.
Yeah.
It, oh, yeah, you get what I mean.
Yeah. I definitely do. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
I just realised that it came from like a massive place of privilege to be able
Mm.
to be like, oh yeah, I don't feel safe in this area or something like that. Like it just because when I was a kid, I was used to like poor areas and I didn't
Mm.
necessarily. Do you ever have that where you like didn't realize someone will say, oh yeah, that place is rough, and you're like, is it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I noticed it yesterday when I took my sister, we moved my sister's stuff from where she's at uni, or from the halls into like where she's gonna be living in the next couple of years. And it's weird going back there now because at the time, it's not necessarily the nicest of areas, but like it's very studenty, but also like it brings all the stuff with it that like
Yeah,
naturally come with that kind of thing. And while you're there, you're like, oh yeah, it's just like you laugh it off almost. It's like, oh, there's been another. Someone was with a knife on the street earlier again.
yeah,
Classic, like one of those things. And then going back yesterday, it was like the first time where I like parks, and I was like, I don't feel as safe here as I used to because now I'm like,
yeah,
and I was like, it's because of the privilege of not being in that situation of like
yeah,
having a job now and living back and stuff and you think and you're like, and why do I? That's not no because I lived here for 2 years and I was fine.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
and if you told me at the time, oh, that's a really rough area, I'd be like, it's fine. Don't worry
yeah.
about it. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's only one knife every week. It's fine. Like it just didn't make sense to me that I knew like friends came and they were like, is this okay? And I was like, yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Why are you
And you
worried
feel
about it?
disappointed within yourself when you've I don't
Yeah.
know, like when I went back to one of the places I used to live and I thought, bloody hell, like this is a shithole. Um, and then was like, oh, well, like, oh, sorry, are you too good for this place now? Like,
Mm,
there's other people like you living there that are not criminals, not
mm,
vile people or whatever. There are other like people that have just had that's the life that they've been given.
mm-hmm. That's it. That's the
Um,
one.
it's like checking your privilege, I guess.
Yeah, it was weird. Like once I caught myself, I was like, whoa, hold the phone here. Like this isn't. You lived here. That's. And I was like, yeah, that's. I realized it was wrong. I was like, no, no, that's not. I don't want to think that. No. Um, but it was sad that that was the initial gut
Yeah,
reaction. I was like, no, I'm better than this. Why am I? I don't know. Sorry, I'm sorry. I started the podcast on a downer. I just it's just something I've been like lots of people. I've had the same conversation. Lots of people this week are just like, it's hard to stay positive about. Like so at work they ask, oh, where do you see yourself in 5 years time? Well, they used to at school and stuff. Where do you see yourself in 5 years time? Where do you see yourself? I'm like, ideally just continuing, not getting any worse.
Yeah.
Like, I like to have slightly more money and savings, and maybe I could live on my own. Um,
I don't think you should live by yourself. There's
I
too
actually,
much thinking involved for you
I
living
actually
by yourself.
function quite well on my own, weirdly.
Do you?
It's strange. It's a strange world. It is. I am.
I don't think I could live by myself. I'd piss myself off.
I think it's. I think it would. Like it's something that like take a couple of days getting used to because I'd be like, what was that noise? And then I get used to it. But I just yeah, I just the whole. It's like I don't know. I'm not thinking that far in the future. I just want to. If I'm still alive, that's a start. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm just struggling for positivity things at the moment. Struggling for be optimism. But I
Yeah.
just maybe someone listening will understand. And if anyone has any advice on things that I can do, just in general, that or maybe maybe you got positive. If someone's got like a good news story, if you can find good news
Oh
stories,
yeah.
send them my way.
Yeah.
Send them my way. I like we could include it in the podcast. It'll be fun. Like we could have like a whole thing. It'll be
A
like
positive news
yeah,
story a week or something. I like that.
yeah. Because I don't think I'm the only person in the world who feels the way I do. I feel like lots of people will understand it. Maybe people listening to this will understand it. And
Yeah.
and I don't want to feel like this. I'm not happy feeling like this. It's just quite difficult to do anything about it on your own. But
Yeah.
there's got to be something. Like that. Yeah, we can do something. So send me your tips for staying positive, or send me your funny things, or I don't know, send me some dumb jokes. Send me anything. I don't mind. I don't mind. Don't send me that I'm fat. I don't want that. Not after that guy did it.
Oh yeah,
Do you
that
remember
was
that last
mean.
time? Yeah, it
Yeah,
wasn't
I
very
forgot about
nice. It
that.
wasn't very nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Tell me about your life between
It's
the
been
Preston.
it's actually been pretty like good and pretty busy. I think that's the
Nice.
thing. As soon as I'm busy, like my whole mindset is like positive. Um, because I just don't have time to think too much. Um, yeah. So like last weekend, oh my god, it was so long. So we Piers and I worked at Togfest, which was really sweet actually because 4 years ago we met there. Um,
Oh,
it was a really weird weekend because
I
so
didn't actually realize you guys met at Hogfest.
yeah, I signed Pierce in
Oh my
when I
god.
was working. Yeah, so
Origin
um,
story.
oh that yeah, this is I'll give you the full backstory. So UCAS, I think it must have been when we were in year 12.
Yeah.
I don't know if uh, I don't know if we've said what school we went to on the podcast, but I don't know if your sixth form sent you to UCAS conference. Did you go to it?
Yeah, yeah, we went to one in Birmingham, I
Bed-
think.
oh, you went to Birmingham. They do
Hmm.
one in Bedford. That's so weird.
We went to like they
Um,
had like the NEC thing, so it was like a whole. I don't know
oh,
why, but
weird. Basically, in year 12, they have they send you to UCAS conference where there's basically a load of universities with stalls giving
hmm.
you free tote bags and pens saying, come to our uni, we're the best uni. Um, and when I was there, I was with Katie, and I looked at a few unis, but like I didn't really care too much. Like I was kind of bored. It was a lot of information thrown at you, and um, it just feels a bit much when everyone's going, "We're the best uni," blah blah blah. We take all this
It's
free
weird because
stuff.
sometimes they really want to talk to you about stuff, and they're like, "Oh, so what are you thinking about?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm thinking about maybe studying politics or something." And then they go, like, "Oh, well, if you want to study politics first, you have to get this, this, and this. But what are your grades at? What are you looking at?"
Yeah,
Yeah, we can work it. And it's like, oh god, stop trying
it
to sell me your uni right now, please.
it is like you know when you see. I remember being in Debenhams and they had some guy uh, doing a demonstration of the world's
Yes,
sharpest knives.
yes,
Um,
exactly that.
Yeah,
Exactly that.
it's a bit like that, but times like 200 unis.
Mm.
It's a lot. So we were at that, and then Katie and I saw that there was some like live music on. There was a band playing, so we sat down, and I took a couple of videos, and it was Pierce's band, um, which I now manage. Weird. When I was 17, no, yeah, 17, 16 or 17. And then fast forward 2 years, was working at Togfest with Florence, signing in this band called Toffees, and they were like, "Oh, we've just come from UCAS conference," and I was like, "Toffees UCAS conference? I've seen you play," and I think I said that. I didn't think of anything of it. I was like, "Oh, that's funny," um, and then I had about 6 pints. My step granddad Stuart was bought me about four pints, so I was having a great time.
Good, good.
Um, and then I saw Rachel, the old guitarist, dancing by herself to Togmore, and I turn around and there's the three boys stood there, like just watching her, like not dancing with her. I was like, what? Like, what are you doing? Like, dance with your bandmate. That's not right. Like, you can't just let her dance by herself. That's wrong. So I grabbed Pierce's arm. I do not remember this. I just remember like shouting at them. I don't remember like, but apparently I grabbed Pierce's arm and like pushed like him to like sort of dance with
Yeah, that
Rachel.
sounds exactly like something you would do.
Yeah, and like when he was telling me this, I was like, "Yeah, that does sound right." But I have
Mm-hmm.
like no recollection of it being Pierce specifically. I just remember turning around and being like, "Don't let her dance by herself. You suck." Um, so like we sort of all danced in a group, and then Piers found me on Facebook through the festival organizer. He's like a family friend. Um, who's now supplying us with the marquee for the wedding, which is so weird. But yeah, so he slid into the DMs, and then we are just chatting as mates for a few months. It wasn't anything spectacular, and then um after a couple of months, we realised we were on the phone to each other, like falling asleep on the phone to each other every night. And then it was like, oh, that's interesting. And then we went on a date and had too much tequila.
Oh.
That's pretty much, yeah. But it's just weird because so obviously, so 2019. So we got together in 2018. 2019, we were doing the European tour. Then 2020, 2021, COVID, no UCAS conference, no Togfest. Um, so this was the first year that everything was running again, and we provide the PA for UCAS, so set that up. And Togfest, we both signed up to work, and then they asked Pierce to be like a special guest. They have a rule that you're not meant to play 2 years in a row, and they'd played 2017, 2018, and
Mm.
technically, even though it was 2022, it was still like back to back. So like
Mm.
3 years, three Togfest back to back. But they asked sort of last minute if he would play. So he was king of the roadies, so he was getting all the gear for all the artists to the right stages, and I was signing in the artists and sort of helping Pierce when I could. So we did that, and then we went off to UCAS. So it's just a little bit weird being like at the festival we met at, and then going to UCAS where I saw the band play like however many, like 6 years ago. It was just a bit weird.
It's very cute. I like it.
Yeah, and it was nice being like setting up the PA system, thinking 6 years ago I had no idea what an XLR is, and now I'm setting up like this full shebang, you know?
Yeah.
Even like drum kit. I did not know how to set up a drum kit to save my life, and now I can
Oh,
do
I
that.
still don't know.
It's more right. I'm gonna give drummers credit here. Like, oh, I have this thing where sometimes I'll unscrew the wrong section, and then half of the fucking drum kit just like falls off. You're like, what? How did I do something that wrong? Um, and like if you drop one of the knobs, good luck finding it.
Sorry, if you drop one of the knobs, blimey,
Yeah,
you're getting busy.
but you're sabotaging me now. I'm
Yes.
gonna sabotage you. But yeah,
No,
no,
I just
like
felt like it was my turn to sabotage you.
in terms of like positivity and stuff, that was quite a nice like full circle moment.
That's a very cute story.
Yeah.
It's
I
weird. It's
mean,
almost like rom-com level of like the
throw
circle,
in
you
some
know?
British weather and it could be like an indie
Yeah, I
an
mean,
indie film.
if you want to buy the rights to this love story, let us know. Kat will she drives a hard bargain, so don't expect to buy it for cheap.
Oi, oi. We just need Piers to actually be successful now. And then it would be worth a
Right, I feel like you're quite responsible for that as his manager.
yeah. When
So,
he starts selling out Wembley, I can then think about selling the rights to the
yeah.
story.
Well, you get him to Wembley, he'll play Wembley, and then you can sell the rights.
Love it.
And I'll
Rich
be here
and
to commentate on the whole saga.
oh no, you're like the counselor. What do you call it? Not like therapy. Like you're our advisor, chief advisor,
Chief advisor.
life advisor.
Oh my god, the world is fucked if I'm your life advisor. I'm your life coach.
Life coach. That's the one. Life coach.
Sweet Lord above. Oh, that's nice. That's
Imagine
sweet.
signing up to be a life coach. Like, imagine having to be positive all the time.
I cannot. I don't even know how that would be possible. Like, they'd come and they'd be like, "Oh, I've been working through some difficult stuff in my life," and I'd be like, "Yeah, but is it even worth it? Why did you do that? Is it
Just
worth it? Really? Worth your time?" They'd be like, "Oh, well, I thought maybe we no." Took a weird dark turn there, didn't
yeah,
it? Sorry, that was just the bullshit I was choking on.
love it. Oh my god. Sorry, this is not. Oh, no, I don't know. I don't know if I can say.
The previous bit definitely isn't podcast worthy. I'm removing that straight away.
Well, no, that was funny.
No, I can't. I can't stand by that. That's the thing. That's too
Oh.
much. That's too much.
One day, like if the podcast ever takes off, someone will leak our unedited.
I will be the one who does it. I will leak our undeleted scenes of the World to Rates podcast, and then
To
people
be
will be
honest,
like,
it's mostly us
"Fucking hell!"
exposing like secondary school drama
Yes,
instead of anything that
it's
deep.
us either or just exposing a dumb thing that we did, and we're like, "That's it." Most people might sit there thinking they must say really dad stuff in the bits that Chris cuts out. No, it's just dumb shit because we're idiots.
Yeah, pretty much, pretty much.
There's whole bits where I go off on a tangent and then it's quite fun editing because I look at it and I look at your face through the dumb bits and you start off smiling and then you're like,
Huh?
huh? And like I can literally see in your eyes like they're like flicking side to side like, how do, why is he? And then you go for the nervous, haha. And every time I watch it, I'm just like, this is what am I doing? Oh man, I just delete that shit so hard.
But oh, I'm trying to think of other positive things. What else? What festivals? When so was is it just been Togfest and UCAS since last time we spoke?
I think so.
Yeah, that was actually kind of
Do you want me to give you some thinking time?
yeah. Why
All
not?
right,
Give me some
I'll give you some
thinking
thinking
time.
time. In the meantime, I will share some lovely news. So I last week went to my one of my best friends, Beth. Her partner
Oh yeah.
proposed to her in a very sweet little thing. They went for like I think they went down to London. They like had a nice day out, and they went for like a nice picnic. And then apparently it was a very sweet like proposal. Um, he did it really well. He did it like privately, so it was just the two of them, not like in front of
Aw.
everyone, which is like exactly right. It was really good for him to have that moment. And then he had booked this like it's like a escape room hotel. So the whole hotel is basically an escape room. So
That's so cool.
it's really cool. You basically have to like unlock all the rooms and stuff and like find out the clues and things. And obviously if you do it all, then everything's open and it's a great time. They had like a pool and like a hot tub and like a steam room and it was a really nice day. But we were all basically like 20 of us went to surprise her. So
Wow.
we like got there, drove down, and you basically we got there about half an hour before she did, and we when we knew they were coming, we had to get inside this like hot corridor. It was like a tiny corridor next to the hot tub and the steam room. It's like it's hot in there, and there's like 17 of us, I think, stood in this corridor, waiting for like to be able to burst out and be like surprise, um, slowly roasting, and it was like a hot day as well. And for
Oh
some
no.
reason, and I cannot for the life of me
Did
understand
you
why,
fart?
no, I did not fart. They had lift music playing the whole time. I was like stood below the speaker playing lift music on a loop, and I was like, but then we jumped out. I was like, oh no, she actually, they were like, you should go and open that door. So she opened the door and we were all in. She was like, couldn't imagine like what was happening. She was so happy. We had a lovely time. It was really nice to be able to like be part of that because I've never
Oh.
been part of someone's like proposal thing. Um, I've never like had any I don't know like part in that. Like it's not the kind of thing that normally you have any involvement in at all. But to
Yeah.
be able to like
It's a really
immediately
sweet
celebrate
moment.
with her and
Yeah.
like and they're such a lovely couple. Like they very much yeah, it was just such a fun time. The ring was lovely, like it's such a beautiful ring.
Oh.
And she looks really happy. And she deserves to be happy. So I was very I had a very nice time there. That's like a nice thing that's happened to me.
Aw, that's
There
so
you go.
sweet.
It was a really lovely ring. I was very happy to be there. I like took a day off work, um, rather than work half a day, which I was very grateful for.
Yeah,
Um, it was lovely. Really, really nice time.
that's so cute.
It was. It was.
And that sounds like a really like original and personal way of doing things as well,
It
doing the
was
escape room.
exactly what it shows how much he knows her because it
Yeah.
was exactly what she like. She said it couldn't have been more perfect. It just, it was just exactly right. Everything was right. Um,
It is funny with wedding stuff and proposals, like so many people get in their heads like they over complicate things and end up depersonalizing stuff because they think, oh, I have to do a big gesture or I have to like for me with Pierce, like I ruined his proposal plan because he was going to propose at Christmas, and I said, "Why would you propose at Christmas?" When we were watching a film, I know, I basically ruined his plan. Um, so he proposed in our bedroom while I had a bowl of popcorn in my hand. And like I was telling a friend this, who's quite big on weddings and quite different to me in terms of like loves, very girly girl basically, and they're like, oh, how did he propose? And because Pierce is quite like he's quite uh extra, I don't know,
mm,
I think they're expecting something really grand. I don't
mm.
fucking know. And when I said that, they kind of looked at me like, oh, are you okay with that? Like that doesn't sound, I was like, that's perfect. Like that's just how like yeah, just suited me and suited him, and it was just right for us. And that sounds like with Beth that it was really personal and right for her, and
Yeah,
that's
absolutely. It could not have been. I agreed. It could not have been more. Like he organized it all. Like Miss Justin was like, so I'm doing this thing. I'm like trying to surprise her. And like just such an amazing thing. Like he really did a great job. Um, yeah, they're a really sweet couple. Like and they're like buying a house now as well. So like,
oh
they're like
bloody hell.
fully like doing the like
Adulting.
the thing, and yeah, it's really nice to be able to be there. Plus, like Beth was really what's what I'm looking for, helpful to me in uni. Like, I genuinely don't know that I would have got through some of my lectures and things without her. And
Aw.
when COVID hit, I actually went to stay in her house. Because I decided to stay in Birmingham where I was going to uni.
Yeah.
And all my other housemates went home just before lockdown was announced, and I was like, I don't want to go home because this is my final year of uni,
Yeah.
and I don't want to just go home straight away. And
Yeah.
so Beth very kindly was like, do you want to come and stay in my house? Like one of my housemates is going home. Do you want to? You can stay in their room if you want. And I was like,
Aw.
are you sure? Like that's quite a big thing. And like they, let me stay with them for like 3 months.
Wow.
So it was just the sweetest thing. And like we did loads of
Oh.
fun things over that first lock. It was like that first lockdown was really scary, I think, for a lot of it was like nothing we'd
Yeah.
ever been through before.
No. Yeah.
And like being able to like have the friends and things, I think at least helped get through that because we
And we
like
had to try and
did
stay
stuff.
calm because
Yeah.
of our degrees. Like, we had to stay focused. And some
I still had
part of
things to do,
that,
exactly. I had a dissertation to finish while the pandemic was
yeah.
going on.
And part of that is like good because it gave you something to distract yourself with. But then also, like, we, everyone was concerned about their families and friends. And
Mm,
it was just, you just had so many horror stories. And it was
mm.
just, it went from being like a bad joke to being real. So yeah,
It's
no, that's
crazy to
nice that you
think
had.
now, like in 1 month, how much. Like at the start of the month, I came home like because it's my birthday in the start of March. So I came
Yeah,
home and I was like, oh yeah, I guess I'll, blah 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 blah. And I didn't realize that at that point when I went back to uni, I didn't realize that like there was gonna be a pandemic and it was gonna be in lockdown and shit. And then everything changed by the end of that month. It was crazy, but it was really sweet. So I'm really glad I could be there and like that's a nice thing that's happened. That was very sweet because it was like
yeah,
one of those things where you just you know it it could not have been a better day for them both. And like just to be a tiny part of that is like crazy, really. I was like, I felt kind of honored. I was like, oh, like I can't believe that I'm one of these few people that you could have there to like celebrate with
aw.
you. It was really sweet. It was really sweet.
It's good you're loved because people like
All right,
you.
calm down. Get back in your box. Don't get carried away now, right?
I don't even know. I'm staying in my box. No, I'm joking. I was thinking last episode we did a very long episode, and I don't know whether we should. If there's anything else you want to do before we move on to the music section, I don't know.
No, I mean we can move on to the music section. It's been a bit of a
Yeah,
weird one. I mean, so far I started on a downer. You took us into a bit of a high.
and then
Emotionally, I don't know where we're gonna go with this. I mean, these songs could take us in a lot of different directions, to be honest.
yeah, yeah, like
There's different vibes going on in this playlist this week,
I know it is a bit mixed. It is quite mixed.
in the best way.
I need to get the list up. Sorry, I was having a moment. I sat myself down. You know how? So I originally was going to do the podcast outside, but it was a bit too
Mm.
windy. Um, and then I moved myself inside. And then I originally, you Chris can't see, but you guys can if you're watching on YouTube. So I put my laptop at the end of the sofa on the other sofa, and then I was like, oh, okay, I'll sit down. And then I just realised I was twisting over to face you guys. And so then now I've tried to face forward, but then I don't have any support for my back, and I'm being like an old person, like, and you just can't get comfortable.
What the fuck are you doing?
I don't know.
What's happened to you? What?
I know. I'm so.
When I edit this week, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing?
You say that. I'm watching Piers wheel a fridge that across the garden right now.
When you say a fridge,
I don't think it's our fridge. I think he's maybe it is.
where did you get a fridge from? What?
I don't know.
What the fuck is going on over there?
I know, like, I get easily distracted, but sometimes there is some weird. I swear, like, Sunday, just weird shit happens. Or maybe there's always weird shit happening and I just notice it on
Maybe
Sundays.
most of the time you're so busy that you don't have time to like see all this stuff, and now you're just sat there and it's like, I just don't. I feel like music round. I feel like music
Music.
round.
Yeah,
Music
yeah, that
round.
would be
Music's
good because
oh
now I'm
god.
thinking way too much about the fridge and where it's come from.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to know if you, Piers, if you
'Cause-
could let us know by next week, please. Thanks.
yeah.
Thanks,
Okay,
bud.
so can we start with the Mez lipstick
Yeah, let's start there.
Adderall? Adderall.
Adderall. Oh my god.
I was like, oh.
Sweet fucking Lord above.
I need some Adderall.
You need something. Jesus Christ.
Oh, bloody hell. Um, how did you come across this?
Well, I think you know exactly how I came across this.
Oi, oi. Yeah, that was my cue to let you slide into it like a really smooth
Yeah, I just feel like
introduction.
Well, I mean, first of all, let's just go back a second. You know, every week we have this thing. You know that I make the clip. You know that it's key that we nail it. And so far, what I have from you is lipstick Adderall, and I'm gonna be honest, I can't
Okay,
work with that.
okay. Lipstick Adderall by the Mez.
That's the one. See?
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. Okay. So Kat went to see our friend Split the Dealer
Oi, oi.
in Reading?
Reading,
Guildford?
yeah.
I
Sub,
don't know why I thought Guildford. Sub
no,
69?
Reading. Sub 89, but 69 also works.
I'm never gonna not call it that now. And I believe that these guys were one of the openers, if I'm not
Yeah.
wrong. Um,
Yes.
so yes, Queen. I took a listen to them because he recommended them,
Yeah.
and they are great. They're so
They're
fun
fun,
to
aren't
listen
they?
to. They have like 1975 vibes, but like
Yes. Yes.
slightly more
Rocky.
yes, yes, slightly
Alt.
more rocky. Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, but they have such a great sound, very immediately so catchy, and like
High
they,
energy and
yeah,
like very fun performers.
they sound like
A
they
lot
should be
going
bigger
on.
than they are.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely.
They sound like they should be a lot bigger now. Like I'm doing your thing, but like they only have 771
Monthly
monthly listeners,
Spotify listeners. Yeah.
and I'm like, what? Like
And
these guys are
everything's like
great.
well produced and stuff. Yeah, they just need to like land in the right market, and then
Yeah,
they'll
definitely.
take off.
I would 100. If you haven't heard of them, you definitely should. If you like 1975 or like indie kind of rock,
Even like Catfish and the Bottleman type
yeah, a little bit catfish in the
genre,
bottom.
because
Yeah,
Catfish and the Bottleman fans are needing a bit of
I
help
need a
these
bit of
days.
yeah.
So
Oh, sad times.
emotional. Yeah.
Emotional.
So yeah, check them out. Honestly, good fun. This song is just, I don't know, they're just high energy and positive vibes. Sorry, I was just gonna refer back to my notes and see if we'd missed anything, but I think we've covered
I
covered
feel like
most
we're
things. And
speed run. We're doing Walter Rate's podcast speed run this week.
I know that was very quick. I think it's because like last week, how long were we recording last week? I swear, well, not
It
last
was
week,
a
the
long
last
one.
episode.
It was a long one.
I felt
Let's
bad
just
for you
say
having
that
to
much.
edit.
No,
It
it
was
was fun.
long.
I enjoyed it.
And we were chatting a bit before the podcast as well. So
Yeah, I
um
enjoyed it. I was down for it.
so yeah, if you've checked out Split the Dealer, like, because obviously we've spoken about him a lot on the podcast, and if you've listened to his music and you like his music, there's a good chance you'll like the Meds.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
Split.
And
Ooh,
I would
ooh,
like to
short.
see where they end up in like a year's time.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
think if they carry on where they're going, hopefully at some point they'll have a song that just blows up.
And I think they do. I think they gig quite a lot, so just keep an eye out if you're sort of Midlands area. Keep an eye out and see if they're playing anywhere near you.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. But it's
Do
good.
you do you want to hit me up?
I will. I will. Let's go. Oh, this is all right. Let's go for "Doing Really Well, Thanks" by Ellie Bleach.
Oh yeah,
So this song, um, I was listening to it and I had to stop at one point and check when it came out because it sounds very much older than it is. You know, like it
it's
sounds
like
very like
modern old.
yeah. It draws on a lot of like old influences and but combines it with like a modern take, which is really interesting. She has a great voice, like a
Yes,
very like it is the kind of voice that you would imagine you could hear coming from a song which is much older. It sounds really mature, really confident as well.
yeah. So I like put down she had quite like a wholesome voice and like with the
Yes.
old piano sound that was quite interesting because you don't really hear sort of you hear a lot of sort of keyboardy sounds like
Yeah.
synthy sounds now. You don't really hear um yeah old school piano like and I love that sound because like as both of us are musicians, we've like basically we lived in practice rooms throughout our teenage years and
Oh yeah. At
for me
lunchtime
at
we went to
uni
the music practice rooms.
and just old pianos were our jam and it just sort of made me feel quite like nostalgic as well like just yeah very wholesome and I did a little bit of research as in like I clicked on her Spotify bio and
It's top quality research from you then.
and it was
Detective
saying
Preston back at it again, ladies and gentlemen.
But
Sorry, I
it's
completely...
got quite a lot of information on. Like normally, like quite a lot of the time when I click on it, there's like
They just
two,
put
three
like
lines.
lol, I'm Chris, and that's it. So that's not a bio. Come on, come on.
Whereas she's got like quite a dense bio. But it said that she was raised in Southend,
Oh shit.
and it's kind of when I knew that, I'd listened to the song again. I was thinking about. Have you been to the arcade at Southend?
No.
There's like this old fashioned arcade with like some really weird but cool games. Like one of them you're like a fly and you've got to try and survive and you're getting like swatted at and there's like just loads of veranda and there's a fortune teller thing that scared the
Yeah,
shit
like
out
in
of
the
me when
like
I was a
thing.
kid.
It's like is
Yeah.
that one like in the glass box kind of thing? Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And like and it's kind of scary but also really fascinating and after listening to that I kind of when I was listening to the song I don't know I could feel the influence of the sort of old arcade sound if that
Yes. I get
doesn't
that. I
sound
get you.
really odd
No, I
um
100% get you.
yeah and then it's still like a modern song but just wholesome is
It
probably the
is.
way I would
It is. I was just thinking
describe.
about you were saying about how we love like we're both musician things. I remember we when we were younger anyway. We went to London for the day. Um I
Oh
remember
yeah.
like we planned it out and we're like this is what we're going to do and we were determined that we would stop at the Yamaha music shop
Oh
at
my
some
god, that
point
was so funny.
and sit there and go and like just go and try the instruments and stuff and like so like we ended up in the piano room whatever. I think we sat there and played like clocks or something like
Sherlock.
classic.
We
Sherlock. Who plays
Nathaniel knew the
Sherlock?
Sherlock theme
Yes,
tune
Nathaniel played.
because
Oh, that was brilliant. Um, but like they had so and I will always love the sound of a proper piano. I I feel like I'm really lucky to live in a like because you can do so many things with synthesizers now, right? Like
Yeah.
Like and like I realize that they've been around for a while, but like they just keep and they sound increasingly realistic and phenomenal and all these kind of things. But then there's something about a real piano, and you can sit there and play it, and you can feel like the hammers striking the strings, all that kind of stuff. That you can hear the kind of internal mechanisms and stuff,
Yeah.
and it just all and when you get that sound, that proper like chord that just fills the room, it's uh, like you just it just doesn't even like you remember when we had the in the it had the uh like old upright pianos and like the practice rooms, and they weren't
Yeah.
necessarily in the best tuning or
Oh
anything like
God.
that,
Yeah.
but like they were just it just there was something about that the second you
It's
started playing.
inspiring playing on a piano. Like playing on a shitty keyboard is not like you'll deal with it, but it's not like an inspiring feeling. Like it's
No.
there's
And
something
I've
about a
done different
piano.
things when I've been sitting there like just messing around and stuff. When I've done it with an actual piano, it something else is there that just like
Yeah.
takes it in a different direction. So when I'm just sat here with my keyboard set up, like
Yeah.
it both of them lead to something, but they for somehow just end up so different. Um, so yeah, I absolutely love the sound of a proper piano. Um,
Can,
I was
I
going to
was
talk about
gonna
lyrics a little
ask.
bit. I love the well, I found it really catchy. The I'm doing really well, thanks. I do not need your help, thanks. And I'm like, I like that feeling of like no, you know when like people are like watching, you know, like, do you need are you okay? Do you need some help? Do you need to like do you need to like take care of you or something? You're like, no, I'm fine. Like things aren't necessarily amazing, but like I'm doing fine, thanks. You can fuck off. Leave me to
Yeah.
my thing. Leave me to like have my time and like mess around and like but I love what was this one? Don't you pity me, at least I do my crying on Egyptian cotton sheets. That's such a
It's the most beautiful snobbery I've ever heard.
Yes, exactly. I'm like this somehow goes against so many things that I believe, but also yeah, you go. Fucking you do that shit. Absolutely. Um and the final bit as well. I've done awful things for money, but you've all done worse
Oh
for free.
yes, that's the key quote. I
What a
so I
powerful line, man.
I've been listening to this a lot in the car. To be fair, that's when I listen to music most at the moment. It's like in the car when I'm by
Really?
myself. I yeah, because I'm in the car quite a lot these days. So
You are a
um,
busy gal going around.
yeah. So I've listened to it loads in the car, and then with UCAS that I was mentioning earlier, um, they're like, oh yeah, we need to put on some music, but between like the bands playing. And then everyone looked at me, and I was like, yeah, to be fair, I've definitely got the youngest sound out of the group. Um, and then I laughed when this song came up because of that line, and I thought,
Yes.
it's a little bit ropey. You could the context of that could be
Yes.
interesting. And I thought I'm
Absolutely.
just broadcasting this to a bunch of like 16 and 17-year
You're
olds.
influencing the future adults of our world, and that's what you've influenced them with.
Yeah. Oh my
And to be
god.
fair, what a good influence.
Watching Grey's Anatomy and like they've had a few Coldplay moments in there, and I'm just like, oh,
Grey's Anatomy seems like a very
Coldplay
appropriate show for
appropriate.
Coldplay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it just makes me laugh. I'm like, fair, fair.
Have they whipped out the scientist yet?
Oh, I'm not sure. To be fair, they've done a couple. I need to think. I'll find out. I'll give you a list of
All right.
what Coldplay
Maybe I should
songs
just
they've
start watching
used.
Grey's Anatomy.
It is like it is still trashy, but like it's good trashy. It's not. I was saying this before. It's not like Selling Sunset or Keeping Up with the
Oh
Kardashians
God.
trashy. It's definitely it's well
You would know.
acted.
You are in many ways the queen of trash.
I know this is a new thing though. I like never used to watch trash. I used to watch like pretty much exclusively documentaries. I wouldn't even watch films that weren't documentaries. Um
I'm weird like that. Yeah, I won't watch like if you give me a choice, like, do you want to watch this film or do you want to watch a documentary? I'll be like, oh, give me that documentary.
but I
That's so
just don't
weird.
like unless I were to find them online. Amazon and Netflix don't really have a huge amount of I've watched all of them.
Yeah.
Um Yeah, even like all the serial killer ones, watched all of them.
Oh, you've
Like
been
all the
through all of those
prison
ones. Yeah,
ones.
you've done that. You've done the serial killers. That's done.
Yeah. Um so yeah, I kind of left with trash, I guess. I watched too much. I think it's because like I'll just have stuff on in the background while I'm doing things. It kind of helps. And I know if I listen to music, I'll get distracted and I'll go on a spiral of
Yeah.
oh, I wonder where they sound like they've got an accent. I wonder where they're from. Oh, this
Hmm.
person sounds a bit like this person. Oh, I wonder if, and it's like a whole, and then I start making playlists or what. So I just try and have
To be
something
fair,
that's
your
not
playlists
too.
are always like good. So.
Thanks. I need to make more, especially if I do have this interview coming up, although I know nothing about it because Universal haven't contacted
Hmm.
me.
Hmm.
Um,
Universal, come on, let's get this. Let's get this going.
I
Yeah.
know. Like, I shouldn't have to call you, call me.
Don't, don't. I won't call you. Call me. No.
um,
Don't call me. I'll call. No. Don't call you. I'll carry on. Carry on.
but yeah, I should probably make some more up to date playlists as well. Because I think you like when I do the sort of unsigned artist type playlists.
Hmm? Yeah, absolutely. It's always like a chance for me to find something new. I'm always like out here looking for new stuff.
Speaking of, I was gonna do like a really smooth transition back to the podcast tunes.
Hmm.
Um, Speaking of a band who are definitely signed and most people know about them,
Hmm.
Bastille, Surviving.
Hmm.
Surviving. How are they pronouncing that? Surviving. They've got
Well,
no G on
I
surviving.
don't think they're gonna come and kill you if you put a G on the end. I think
I mean, Sigrid saw and liked our podcast, so you never know.
that's because
Bastille
Sigrid's a
could.
fucking legend.
Oh,
We do not deserve, okay? We do
oh my
not
god.
deserve.
This bit was deleted, and you'll never hear it. Sorry about that.
That was a little fun sidetrack, which you
It
guys may
was.
or may not be hearing in the future.
Yeah. Imagine if you never
Um,
hear it. Do you ever feel
I
sad
know.
that you don't hear our sidetracks? Let us know.
I'll be really sad if they don't hear that because then it means it didn't happen, which
Yeah.
would just be really sad.
Yeah.
Um, but Surviving by Bastille, honestly, um, I hadn't listened to any of Bastille's like new material. When was the last
I've not
time
listened
they?
to Bastille in ages.
Yeah, it was just really nice to hear some new stuff. Oh, so they had
Mm.
Happier in 2018. So I'm guessing this is like
I don't think I ever listened to that.
it's a sing. Oh, sorry, it's a single. Oh, it's the
Yeah.
Marshmallow and Bastille. I think I've heard it. It could be
I don't
wrong.
recognize this at all. How have I
But
missed this?
Happier. I must
What
know this.
fucking world do I live in sometimes, man?
It's great to have new music from them, and it's like I've always loved how Bastille have incorporated like live instruments
Mm.
into their tracks, and they're just sort of they're very like good at fusing sort of pop with like strings or what like trumpets or it just I don't know. I love them.
I agree. They have a they have their own little sound, you know? They have their very unique different sound,
Yeah.
and I like it. I love it. Well, I love the oh god, we're going back to the depressing thing. But like um so like I'm not gonna lie and say I've been alright because it feels like I've been living upside down. What can I say? I'm surviving.
Yeah,
Crawling out the sheets to see another day. What can I say? I'm surviving, and I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. I think I'll be fine. That whole like thing is like, damn, that hits at my core. You know?
yeah. I kind of like the idea that, you know, when you see on TV a happy scene where uh, there's this grand score and like people are running up and kissing each other and
Mm,
everything's like perfect, and that's the idea that we've sort of been brought up with as happiness. It's like, you know, happiness means getting a promotion, getting your dream
mm,
house, getting your dream car, like, and there's a soundtrack to fill in the blanks kind of thing. Whereas I think this is sort of like the realistic happy
mm.
bop, where it's, you know, even when you're having happy moments, it's not this intense like fused, fueled, adrenaline
Fueled.
fueled
Okay.
moment.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I get you. I get you. It's. Yeah. Absolutely. It's very much like it's real life. It is. It's. It just I get it because it's like one of those things where someone asks, "How are you doing?" I'm like, I think I said to someone the other day. They're like, "How are you doing?" I was like, "I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay." And they were really like they were quite concerned. They're like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, I'm not
not
amazing,
gonna off myself.
but I'm also not gonna off myself. Like, I'm not sad necessarily. I'm just like
Surviving.
I'm surviving. I think it feels like I've been living upside down. It's like I get it. I get that.
Yeah,
I 100% relate to that feeling of like sometimes like yeah, your head hits the pillow, you fall asleep, you wake up, back up, you're like, "Well, I didn't I just shut my eyes. What do you mean I've got to wake up already? I'm not ready for this. Like this isn't this isn't right. This isn't fair." But
and you've just got your big boy promotion. Everything's going well. You know.
things are going well for sure, but it's yeah, and that's the thing, is it feels wrong to be like, "Oh, I think I'm okay." Because people are like, "Well, what do you mean? You've got this promotion, you've got this stuff. Why are you not yeah, you should be feeling on top of the world." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, it's good, but like I don't know. I'm not really. I just just carrying on, you know. I'm not gonna lie. I also love the bit. I like it because it's very relatable for me, not because it's necessarily the happiest of lines, but it's got like a thundercloud in November rain. Is a black dog out running wild again for
Oh
you?
yeah, it's
And I was
the
like,
Arlo Parks
yeah,
Black Dot. Yeah,
yeah.
I clocked that as well.
It's good to like have that just that I always love that reference to it. It's like because it's just very the whole metaphor of it, like the thunderclouds, November rain, black dog. It's like I know that feeling. I know that one. Yes, I understand. I relate. I get it. I get it. I've had that. It's it's great. But I love it. It's a great song. Um, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. Um, let's go for Nobody Has to Know by Thomas. Oh no, now I'm doing it.
Hedon, Hedon. Oh, Hedon, Hedon,
Uh,
head on.
right, let's see what happens. Here we go. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna just run at
Okay.
this. I'm gonna see what happens. So this is Nobody Has to Know by Thomas Hedon.
I love it. I love it.
I
Um,
didn't like the one I picked. I wasn't happy with it, but
someone's gonna be on like TikTok like, you're wrong.
someone's gonna be like, it's clearly fucking head on, you dumbass. I'm like, I didn't know.
Um. Oh, this is a bit of a like wild card in this mix of.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a okay. I think I've already used this word today for one of the tracks, but I just found it quite like nostalgic of being a teenager.
Yeah.
It
It
was
feels
just
very late 2000s like sound. Um
Yeah,
I'm
it's
trying to think who it reminds
context.
me
It's
of.
like indie rock, but it's like it did remind me a little bit of you know the 1975 song "Sex," I think it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's musically, it just reminded me a little
I
bit of
nearly
that.
put that on a playlist this week, weirdly. Just because
Really?
I've really been listening to it a lot, and I was like, I'll
Have
just put
you?
this on. But I didn't. I didn't put it
I
on
haven't
there in the
heard
end.
it in years. I just
Yeah. I just suddenly listened to it again the other day, and I was like, yeah. Sorry, I just
I
zoned
never
out.
went through the 1975s phase. I know so many people who did, but I just didn't like. I've always had an appreciation, but I never like got obsessed. You know?
Their first album really just like, I don't know why, it just really caught my attention. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then I have like on and off listened to them, and then like more recently made a friend who is a massive fan, so I've like started listening to them again. Um, yeah, I really love them. They've got a good sound. They've got a good sound. Um, but this is not 1975. This is Nobody Has to Know. You see how I went for the song title rather than I can't go back to the name. I'm just gonna mess it up.
You've
Um,
traumatized yourself.
I like the carefree side of it. You know, like it's the thing of
Casual sex. Woo.
yeah, and like it's fine. It's just fine. It's no. There's nothing else. It's not complicated. It's not like
It's not
um.
deep. It's
It's
not,
not. Yeah.
and that's good sometimes. We
It's good
can't be
that like
listening to Coldplay all the time.
we can't because sometimes you have to listen to something that isn't Coldplay to come back to Coldplay and be like, I appreciate this even more than I did before.
And it's just it gives me like road trip vibes with when you're
Yeah,
with your mates and you just sort of like being young and dumb and like embracing that for a minute. Just I don't know. I
it
liked
is. It's
it.
very much that feeling of being young and carefree and like just fucking. I like maybe this could be our thing for a while where we never fall in love but we do it all the time. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you go for it. Why not? You like fucking enjoy that shit.
Yeah.
Why the fuck not? Life can be, you know, as I think I've made it horribly clear during this podcast, life can be a lot. Um, so you know what? If it helps to go and just one night stand, whatever, go for it. Do your thing.
When people say, "Oh yeah, I'm not looking for anything serious," I'm when someone says that, I'm like, respect. That is like a really good, fun place to be.
Yeah.
Um,
I low-key hate it, obviously, because I'm like,
yeah,
why look for something?
I could never do that. Yeah, that was the thing. I never had that in me. There was always
But I
neediness. I don't
respect that the
know.
people feel comfortable to be like, I don't want anything serious. I just want this. I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah, fine. You know yourself. You know what you want.
yeah.
Like, go for it. Get it.
I was saying to Pierce, this is so like funny. I was saying to Pierce yesterday that when friends are chatting to me about being single and normally like I'd give advice and stuff, and I was like, the last time I was single was when I was 19,
Yeah. What do you know
and
about being single anymore, Cal?
I know like I can't. All my advice is now pretty outdated. Like it's not being single when you're a teenager is a bit different than being like single in your mid 20s. It's kind of a different vibe, you know?
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like a fraud when I'm going, oh yeah, you know, you do you rock on, be single. It's a great thing to do.
You
I've
rock on,
oh
says the dog mum as she goes to
I know,
take care of her dogs and Pierce.
legit,
Anyway, just fucking hell.
it's that time.
I
I
hate
think
him.
this is my like only piece of singleton advice that I think can be
Egg ice cream vans. That's what I think. Egg all the ice
egg.
cream vans.
Close, close. No, you should do that. Um, my thing would be have fun while you can because you never know when you're gonna meet the one. If you believe in that stuff, like if you believe about like
You still
soulmates or what have you.
sound like you're like 46 years old. What?
I know. I don't. I can't help it. I'm
Why are
sorry.
you doing this? What? Alright.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
Well,
But do you not
you,
agree? Like,
I
I
get
think
you. I don't know why you suddenly sound so old now. Why
I
have you
don't
aged
know.
so
I
much?
can't help it. I just
Please
genuinely
de-age.
I like being in bed by 9 p.m. and
Oh,
I like homemade meals and
well, that's fine.
we had a meal out of our garden the other day.
Oh,
I
God,
know.
I love these people.
I know. Yeah. We've got
Anyway, one night
potatoes.
stands. Yay, moving on.
Woo!
Why
Oh,
are you like
sorry,
this?
am I depressing? I just dropped my. Oh no, it's upside down.
Can you just, can you be more like useless, please? Like, just
More
unage
useless.
yourself a bit.
I just dropped my water bottle down the back of the sofa, which I'd iced. So I'm still
That's not.
pretty
That's
young
not
and dumb.
redeemed you. That's not redeemed
Uh,
you. That's not. That's a small
it
thing.
wasn't very clever. It wasn't.
No, I can see that. I
It
can
wasn't a
that much. I'm not
wise.
doubting. Incredibly unwise of you.
I'm gonna get to like 30 and have a midlife crisis 10 years too young, and
Yeah, it's gonna be
I don't
fucking weird. I'm
know.
gonna be looking at you going, "Do you want to just keep this to your fucking self for now?" Like,
You're like, been there, done that.
what are you doing? Some of us had our midlife crisis at 16. Like, come on.
I think you've just been in crisis since you were born, to be honest. I don't think I've
No, there was
known
a
you.
couple of years. There was a couple of years where everything was good, but they
Was it
they
before you met
ended
me?
probably about the age of 4.
Love it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Existential crisis over.
Is
Well,
it?
postponed, let's say.
Oh,
Um,
you're not still doing yours right now? Okay, me neither.
maybe. Okay. What am I hitting you up with? Black honey. That's the last one of yours? Oh,
Yeah.
crikey. All My Pride. This was a throwback because I used to listen to this in 2018. I used to listen to Black Honey. I saw them in 2017
I had a feeling
supporting.
that you might have shown me Black Honey once upon a time.
That could have happened. I saw them support Royal Blood, but I knew about them before that, and I love their sound. So it seemed like really fun.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
sorry, I just kind of like cut off there. Like I just
No, it was good. I was just like, you suddenly stopped. I was like, uh huh. Do you
then.
want to?
Oh, I also found out. I think they're playing Reading this year. So if you do listen to this track and like it, go check them out.
Yeah.
If you're
Or
going to
if you're
Reading.
going to Reading, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I don't
kind of.
know. That
I
made
mean, check
sense
them
in my
out
brain.
regardless, but like,
My mouth was moving. Wait, my brain was moving faster than my mouth was.
yeah.
Right. Sorry, I'm disappointing you. I'm
No,
sorry.
you're just confusing me. To be honest,
It,
I'm still thinking about the fact that you've somehow aged double the speed of me, and it kind of weirds me out a bit. You wanna stop doing that?
maybe.
All right. Um, I love I love the energy of this song because
It's
it's
like
like,
modern Nirvana,
yeah, I like
female led.
it's the feeling of all my scars will heal in time. Now he's gone with all my pride. Everybody's saying what I need to do, but I haven't got a thing to prove to you. And I'm like,
Love it.
I like that because you can feel kind of dumb after a breakup or something, or like something doesn't work out, and you suddenly feel like if it's ended badly, you're like, why did I? How did this happen? Or like you know, you feel kind of like, you feel broken in some way, but like I really enjoy the line at the end there. The everybody's saying what I need to do, but I haven't got a thing to prove to you. It's like you have to find your own path in these things. You can't
Yeah.
necessarily, because other people will tell you you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to like this is what you should do, and if you do this, you'll be happy. And if you don't do this, I'm going to be kind of disappointed in you because you're not doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And this is a bit more powerful, taking ownership back and going, no, I'm gonna, I'll feel how I feel. I'll do my thing. I'll be sad if I want to be sad, and I'll get through it the way I'm gonna get through it. And sometimes you have to do that because you know yourself better than other people. They might give you advice that's, unrelated to relationships, but there are people who don't necessarily understand what I need for like my mental health, and
Yeah.
will, they'll be like, "Oh, come do this because you'll feel better." And I'm like, no, no, I won't. I won't actually, because I know how I'll feel, and I'm not going to enjoy that the way that you think I am. Like, you mean well, but I'd actually like you to not do that and actually maybe ask me how I feel and how I want what I want to do.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what I should do. Don't tell me you'll do this and you'll feel better. Because if I do
Yeah.
it and I don't feel better, I'm like, well, what's wrong with me? And that's not great.
Yes. Yes, that is a very good point.
I went on a deep thing there, but I really, yeah, I get that feeling of like someone telling you how you should feel and how you're going to get there. And
Well, even
you're
from a
like,
feminist point of view, like not being told how you should think or feel, like it's quite,
exactly.
yeah,
And not letting someone define all your um worth like that,
yeah.
like not letting him have all of the power. If like you're with someone and they break up with you and you're not letting them have that total control over you. You're not sitting there thinking, oh, well, I have to go and get with someone and take pictures and put them on Facebook to prove to you that I'm over you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm better than that. I don't need to play this stupid game. I like it. It's a very
Yeah.
powerful song.
100%. I just love
You right
the
there?
sound in general.
Morning. How are you doing? Can I get you
Works.
some tea or coffee? Wake you up a bit?
Honestly, it's that time, I think.
It's that time.
Brain capacity is
Mm-hmm.
quickly declining. And this is the thing, like sometimes it's hard to explain, or it's hard to describe music sometimes because you're like, I love it and I love the style of her voice and just I think very much like modern Nirvana female led vibes. I just love it. And what more can I say then? I love it, okay?
She loves it.
I love it.
She does love it. Shall I hit you
Sorry.
up? Would you
Yeah,
like me to
hit me
hit you
up.
up? All right.
Hit me up.
This is, I've saved this last because this is heartbreaking. So this is Missing Somebody by
Depressing end.
Naria.
Yeah. Oh,
And
okay.
this song is absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is a little bit. I clicked. Funny enough, you know when I was saying earlier about people with very minimal Spotify bios,
Yeah.
her bio is probably writing a song about my ex, and like
Oh.
I love. There's three songs in particular that I really like by her at the moment, which is At Least I'm Good at It,
Mm-hmm.
Want You Back, which we
Which
might
we
have
talked about.
mentioned. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then this song as well, Missing Somebody. And Missing Somebody I think has come out recently. I think it came on my um recent released Spotify playlist. I think
Yeah, I
it
think
came
it
up on
literally
that.
came out last week or something.
Yeah, that would make sense then. um and she's just got some formula going on in her songwriting that makes things like catchy, and even if it's heartbreaking, it's still, if you listen to a very emotionally draining song, you don't want to listen to it on repeat because it's too much.
Mm.
With this, I could listen to it on repeat and like be perfectly happy. Like
Yeah.
to do that. Am I sadist? Probably. I don't know, but um, I think she also reminds me of Olivia Rod. Oh my god, what's her name? Olivia
Rodrigo.
Rodrigo. That's it. Um, God, that was
How
people
bad
are
does
gonna.
it feel that you had to rely on me to
I
help you
wanted
out
to
there?
say Rodriguez, and then I was like, that's not
Oh
right,
dear.
Rodrigo.
Dear, dear.
Um, if you like her, you'll like. I think they should go on tour together. To be honest, I think that would be. I know Baby Queen's on tour with Olivia Rodrigo at the moment, and I
Mm-hmm.
think Naraya would also do well. Sorry, I just like rambled for like a good few minutes.
No,
So
I think you're right. I think you're very much right. And when I say heartbreak, like, so the line that stuck with me so much was I miss you, and now I'm missing someone I never knew.
Oh God.
Now that like about
Yeah.
oh man, that it hurts to hear something like that because it's so relatable for so many people to like you're in love with someone, but maybe you're in love with the idea
The
of being in
idea
love
of
with them
them. Oh
rather
yeah.
than ever who they were.
Yeah.
And when you find out that that's not who they were, when you find out that's not them, but you love that, you're like
Yeah.
you're missing something you can never. That's not real. That's not a thing. It's crushing,
Yeah. I
crushing.
would describe that with like that's normally people's first love, I think. For
Mm-hmm.
me, I definitely know that with like my first love, it wasn't the person. Looking back, the person wasn't particularly nice to me and didn't treat me particularly well, but it
Yeah,
was the idea of it, like you say. And it wasn't even necessarily the idea of the person, it was the idea of the relationship and the life that that would lead to, I think, which you
yeah,
don't realize at the time. Um and then looking back, like she is being reflective, it's like, oh no, I was never in love with that person. I didn't know that person. I was
yeah,
in love with the idea of it all. Which
yeah.
is, and then you think, oh, what a fucking idiot. I've wasted all my bloody time being miserable over like something that was made up in my own bloody head in the first place.
Yeah. But I think that it makes you feel because you're so angry that you feel like you've wasted that time on
Yeah.
something that wasn't a thing or wasn't a thing in the way that you thought it was. You managed to trick yourself into thinking it was something bigger than it was or something more than it was.
Yeah.
That hits. That hits. It is so, but it's heartbreaking in the sense that it's beautiful and kind of like very relate. I think it's the thing, her. She's so good at being
Mm,
relatable,
yes.
so easily relatable. Like it's so it, it, so immediately like you listen to it and you're listening. Like, yes, I get this. I understand that feeling. I understand what you're talking about, and
The
it makes you want to put it on repeat because you're like, well,
yeah.
this. I really get this, and I'll listen to it again. I don't care if it's sad because I'm feeling it. It's good.
The other line that got me was she's probably 6 by now. And and when family friends go, oh, last time I saw you, you were this
Mm.
big, or you probably don't remember me because you were a baby when I and like
When
it's
you're
scary
younger,
that
you hate that.
yeah,
You
and then
hate
when
that.
you're
You're like,
getting a little
fuck
bit
off.
older, you suddenly go, oh, I get that now because
Yeah.
time passes slowly and
Especially with
quickly
like
at the
COVID
same
and
time.
stuff, right? Because you haven't
Oh yeah,
seen some people for years. You suddenly are seeing them, and it's like, what happened? What? No, you were like this big, and now you're like this big. What? I don't understand.
oh, Matt was saying about his nephew, and I was like, bloody hell, he's not a little toddler anymore. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's so weird to me. I don't know, just because the thing is, you don't. I I suddenly get now when people are in their 70s or 80s and they say, "Oh, I still feel like I'm 16," or and you think, how can you? Your hips don't work. You
Yeah.
can't see, you can't hear. How can you feel that way? And I'm starting to get that, which is slightly scary.
I mean, I kind of get it because everyone, when someone's like, "How old are you?" I'm like, "Oh, 19." 20,
Mm,
what, 20, 23.
yeah.
I'm like, "Huh? No, I don't feel 23. This isn't what I imagined being 23 would feel like."
But then you're doing things that are appropriate for your age. Like, you've just got your first proper promotion. Like, that is, I mean, that's probably a bit, you're probably a bit young to have your first proper promotion, Mr. High Achiever. Um, and like, obviously, I'm getting married next year. That's
Mm,
like very much adult things and they feel right, but it's just weird that we've lived enough life to be at that stage.
yeah.
Um, I do, and it's weird because like the idea of being 40 doesn't scare me anymore. Like it doesn't. I think, oh yeah, well by that point, I'll hopefully have a nice big house and a nice car.
See, I
And
think the difference there is like, and I mean this in a nice way. Like
yeah,
you have not you don't have anything to be scared in that sense, but like you're getting married next year and you got these, you can have it. So like, I can see how you wouldn't be scared because for me that's terrifying because all I think, and I go to the worst possible outcome is like, what if I'm still like this when I'm 40? Like, what if I'm like, and like whether that's necessarily true or not, that's quite scary to my brain. That's fucking terrifying. I don't want to be like this when I'm 40. God, I want things to be better, but I don't know that they will be. So
Yeah.
it's weird how it's different. That I think if I was in a different position, I might look at it and think, nah, that's cool. It's gonna be alright. As it is, I'm like, what was I thought about the other day? I was like, someone said they turned 25, and I was like, oh fuck! Imagine if I'm like this at 25. And that's just stupid. But like, yeah, I don't know. Because
I
I
think
think you
you.
work on this clock in your mind. I think you work on like biological clock kind of thing of
Oh yeah,
like, well,
that's
for
the.
this to happen by this point, you need to like you start working back and like for this to happen at this point, this has to happen. So I need to be doing. Oh, I'm behind schedule, kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I have that all the time with the idea of like having kids and stuff because, I want to have a house that we can raise kids in before that point, and I want to have my career. And I always thought 27, that sounds like a great age to have your first kid. Fuck me, that leaves you no time to do anything.
mm-hmm.
And then the thing is, as soon as you hit 33, you're getting on. You're getting on to have babies,
Yeah.
as everyone will tell you. So it is. There's a lot to cram into the first section of your life. Oh God, I was in a good mood. I was in a non-anxious, like positive mindset, happy to chat to my best friend, and now I'm having a mild existential
This is what
crisis.
happens when people chat to me. I have this particular influence on people. I take their happiness and I remove it.
Bastard. No, I think it's good to talk about these things, and like I hope that you voicing your world pain uh, has made it
I mean, I
feel
don't want to
slightly
bring
less.
people down. That's not what I want at all.
No,
Like,
don't. No, don't
I
start
want
feeling
people
guilty.
to be.
Silly.
It makes me happy to know that people can still be happy at the moment because it tells me there's probably things that are worth being happy about. I hope that, yeah, talking about it has helped some people, like, maybe understand. If you don't get, if you've not felt it, then maybe, like, it's a thing of, like, check in, see how other people are doing, see if other people are feeling the same and maybe need a little
Yeah.
something good to go on. And if you are feeling that way, then know that you're not feeling alone, and hopefully between all of us, we've got to find something that brings a little bit more joy in there, because God knows we need it. But yeah, I don't want you to feel like necessarily anxious. I think we need people who are not feeling anxious. We need people who are feeling quite positive about things and like doing the good shit.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
I don't know how to end this now. Like, we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
We're gonna be okay. And I think our generation, well, we're the most educated generation because how could we not be? We've got everyone else's previous experiences to learn
Yeah.
from.
Thanks to everyone
So,
else for doing the hard work for us. You've done a lot of groundwork to make sure we can get a head start here. So thanks for that.
yeah, cheers.
Fucking
And
good work.
I think we're doing our best, and I'm proud to be a part of this generation. Like, even though, because I think a lot of the problems currently going on are not necessarily our generation. I'm not saying our generation is perfect, but I don't know. I don't want to make any. Oh, do you get what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I
I'd
do.
rather be a part of this generation than any other generation.
No, I get you. I get you.
So that is a positive thing.
Let
I'm
me
hoping
let you. Oh
future
yeah, I'll finish on
generation.
a good note. You want me to finish on a good note for you?
Thank you.
This week, I have invented a new character who I will now be calling Brenda. And Brenda
So it's
is the
admin
person.
name.
He says when you're like talking and you like yawn, and she's like, "Sorry, am I boring you?" That's Brenda. That's Brenda right there. That kind of bitch who I fucking hate Brenda. Brenda is like is the new Karen for me. Sorry to any Brendas out there, but I have decided that the World to Rights podcasts Karen will be known as Brenda. And or
Beautiful.
Deborah. And or Karen.
Deborah. Oh, Deborah, the receptionist for the GP's office. Love that
You
woman.
remember Deborah. What a gal.
Deborah.
What a gal. Anyway,
Do you
so
like
don't be a
the
Brenda.
Don't be a Brenda? Do you like the lyrics I just sent you on Facebook?
Damn. Where is this
Frank
from?
Turner. Glorious
What a
You.
guy.
So come
What
on
a
now,
guy.
if we all pull together, we can lift up the weight of the world from your shoulders. Lift up the weight of the world from your shoulders just for a moment or two. I think
Nice.
that's what you need to hear this week.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Let's pull together. Let's not be Brendas. Let's not be Deborahs. Let's not be Karens. And then this week will be a bit less shit, I imagine.
Love you. Live another year. Bye.
Live another year. Why do we do this?
Bye.
They deserve better.